Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As the video you just saw clearly shows, the construction in Cambodia is going crazy. My team put together a pitch and a slideshow for me to show you, but it basically has already been shown to you by 3 or 4 of the other panelists over the last 2 days, so I've decided just to ad hoc it. So, I've lived in Cambodia since 2009, so I was there when the first skyscraper went up, Canadian Tower. So I've seen Cambodia going from a very low city to now there's 120 projects under construction just in Phnom Penh. I've worked in different industries throughout Cambodia, and now I work on a daily basis. I meet with developers every day who are trying to market their commercial and their residential condo projects. So I hear their concerns, I hear their problems, I get to look at their construction processes, and so it's given me basically a layman's look at the industry of how it's going there. So I don't go in as an agent, I don't go in as an inspector, but just an average investor like yourself. It gives me a day-to-day look at would I invest in this project, would I feel safe living in this building, and I can see from what I've talked to a lot of the Singaporean investors here that a lot of them have never been to Cambodia, or B, they've been there 10 years ago, and now is a very, very different country from then. So if I can say one thing, if you're going to invest in Cambodia, do your homework, do a site inspection, preferably work with a company that is a reliable developer who has previous projects they've finished, be it in China, be it in Singapore. If they have a connection with a publicly traded company is also very good. I've seen quite a few projects that actually have a lot of buyers from Singapore. And when I go to the site to actually have a look, it's just a grass field. I myself wouldn't invest in something like this, though, I mean, they give you great incentives to buy off the plan because they want to make their money before they start to build. I myself, I would like to actually see some construction going on before I give somebody my down payment. I am just an investor. I usually invest my money in the stock market, although Noble Group and Genting Singapore have not been too kind to me here in Singapore. Generally, when I meet with a developer and they want to work with me, I will walk through their building, and if I feel that the building is not being built to code or is not going to finish, then I generally turn down working with that developer. So I think it's very, very important that you do your homework before you invest there. Some of the properties that we work with, I clearly vet them before I work with them because people put a time schedule. I mean, they say like in 2018, there's gonna be 22,000 units coming on the market. Residential. For me, one of the better investments now would be grade B commercial space because there is a huge demand for it and there's a lack of supply. And if you're going to invest in residential, you need to think about what is the reality rent you're going to be able to get to have somebody live in that unit. Because most of you guys, I would imagine, are buying a unit in Singapore not because you want to live in Cambodia, but because you're looking for some place to put your money. So you don't want to have a building with 700 units in it and there's only 10 people living in it. So there's been this rent expectation of where people think they're going to get $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 a month US for a 1-bedroom apartment. It's a fallacy. Those days are coming to a very, very quick end. I mean, the building I currently live in, a 1-bedroom apartment, it's not luxurious, but it's currently going for $800, $900 a month. I do expect those prices to fall in the next 2 years because Khmais don't live in the sky. The younger generation now, they are starting to live in the condos, but the older generation Khmais, they like landed properties. And the expat population is not sufficient to fill all of these units. So if you're going to buy something for investment, commercial, grade B, very good. And on the residential, something that will have a rent that the young millennial Khmers can afford to pay the rent on. So I've seen the salaries in Cambodia increase greatly since I first came there. When I first came to Cambodia, I was working in a hotel, and I was paying my cleaners $50 a month. That was their monthly salary, all right? Now, thank God I've seen it change. Now in Cambodia, your grads and your millennials, they're now going to be making between the $600 and $800 a month. So you figure a family with 2 working adults, and maybe they have a child, or maybe they're waiting for one, they've got $1,500 a month income. So if you base on 30% of your income going towards rent, they can afford a $600 a month rent. So I think going forward, the residential units that you'll be able to fill will be the ones that are in this $600 to $800 a month price range. A lot of the developments, yes, there will be the people that want that luxury unit, but the number of units available and the number of people that will want those units is going to greatly vary over the next few years. So take very care. The short-term investment game in Cambodia is finished. Now investing in Cambodia is a long-term game, as most real estate investments should be. If it's short-term, it's like going to the casino. So take very careful that you're investing in a property that is going to have a proper property management system in place. This is very important because when these people live in these apartments and you're charging them a premium, they want the services. We have, if your Cambodians paying $600 to $800 a month, they're still going to have, some services they're going to want. Before they were building the buildings with no swimming pools, no gyms, but now everybody wants to have these things. So if I can just give, one piece of advice, just do your homework and invest in that range, that's the rental you're going to get back. The commercial and also the Soho units in Cambodia. In Cambodia, the Cambodians don't quite understand the significance of the Soho units. I believe long-term, if the residential has the Soho status, then it can be used as an office later. In the long run, these will have a higher return in the future, year on year. I'm just a normal guy like you guys. If anybody has any questions, you can ask me now, or you can ask me outside. I will answer you honestly and truthfully. That's my short. Yes, Matthew.
Vic, thanks for that. Imagine I'm a partner in a law firm in Cambodia, and we do a lot of property. We have a lot of clients investing in property, both as in developers as well as people buying into it. And one of your comments there about the end user issue, who will be the end user of these apartments if you buy as a buyer into, say, a unit? And you do mention this issue of Cambodians at the moment generally don't live in condominiums. We're hoping that will change with the young generation, of course. But a question I have for you is, it was mentioned just about property values in Cambodia compared to the region. We're quite cheap in terms of to buy. Huh? So do you think if people bought into these units, whereas there may be an issue with regard to rental, do you think there still will continue to be a capital increase, though, on the value of these units? Or do you think we've got a situation whereby there's so many coming online compared to now, that's also going to impact the resale value of the unit? What's your thoughts around that?
Well, this goes into play is like you've got developments in Cambodia. You've got some people who are pricing their units based on reality, and then you've got some other developments that are pricing their units based on, I don't have any idea. You got some developers, starting a 2-bedroom at $500,000 is their cheapest unit. This is not reality, not for Cambodia. So for the investor, buying these units in the $60,000 to $100,000 price range, this is a safer bet because you will actually be able to rent them out. And even if you have to rent them out at a price that takes you 15 years to get, or 10 years, 12 years to get your money back, it's based on reality. But when you have to ask somebody for $2,500, $3,000, $3,500 a month rent, your apartment's going to stay empty. And then I always have this fear. That's why I said you have to be careful which developer you work with, because I've seen it in other countries, even in Malaysia, when the condo owners are not able to rent their units out, they stop paying maintenance fees. And when they stop paying maintenance fees, the condo owner stops taking care of the property, and the property starts to fall apart, and your property starts to depreciate faster than it should. So that's why I'm like, it's good to go with a good company, find out what their plans are for, how much maintenance fee they're going to charge you a month, because sometimes if they say, oh, we're only going to charge you 50 cents per square meter, well, that's a red flag for me. 50 cents per square meter doesn't cover a proper management team. It won't cover cost. So, you want someone who's going to have a professional management team in there, maintaining the building, and that's going to be hard for them to do if they're running at 75% unoccupied. So, yes.
Just now you mentioned about Grade B office space. I'm just wondering who are the end users? Are they like small and medium enterprises, or domestic brands? The second question is what kind of rental yield are we looking at for Grade B offices?
Okay. Well, if you've been to Phnom Penh, Phnom Penh, it looks like a small city, but it can take you like an hour and a half to go 7 Ks. So what you're going to find is, people want to live very close to where they work. So Grade B space, let's say like down around where the embassies are, I would say, over the next few years, you're probably looking at around $18 a square meter. Would be reality, and that's, great. Let's say Grade B office space with a Grade A service. This for me I think is important, because we have an oversupply of overpriced Grade A office space in Phnom Penh as we stand now with Grade B service. So, not many companies want to go in and pay when it comes to the plus. It comes up to almost $40 a square meter for some buildings. It's $18 is a fair price. Anyone else?
Do we have any more questions for Vic?
I know sometimes Asians can be shy, but if you want to ask me afterwards, I will answer any of your questions.
Yeah, Vic will also be taking part, I believe, in the panel discussion
yes.
as well. That will be at 5 o'clock. So if you also have any other questions for Vic, he'll be more than happy to answer them. He'll be here throughout the rest of the day. So if that's